Hello, people.
That was the longest one.
I kind of stretched.
The longest one yet.
I was riding with it. We'll see how long that actually went. Maybe I'll try and set a new record every once in a while. We'll see if I can do it.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
So we are back again, and this is not episode 11 of the Backyardi'Yinz, as people think they might be about to be watching. It's another thing entirely. We have decided that we are going to revisit a previous episode of the Backyardi'Yinz podcast, and that episode was ETW, right?
Right.
I think the screen could look better for a situation like this. So what do you say on the count of three, we all make something happen?
Okay, yeah.
1, 2, 3. Damn, look at that. We're fucking pros at this shit, dude.
Gorgeous.
That's a really nice logo. Who designed that?
I think it just appeared.
It came with Mother Earth and was bestowed upon you two gentlemen, right?
That's true. Actually, we were the only people to think of ETW.
Ever.
Extreme Trampoline Wrestling. That is not generic.
Right. Before we get into Extreme Trampoline Wrestling, which is what we're here to revisit today as opposed to talk about for the first time, I'm going to go around the room and say hello to people. To the left of me today, we have Josh Todd. How are you?
How you doing? Good. Great.
I couldn't be happy. I couldn't be happier that you're the one next to me today, because first time that we did this, you weren't really around to tell your side of the tale too much, but today you are. So before we get into talking about ETW, I have a question for you. What was the name of your first pet?
Smokey.
Smokey. What was Smokey?
She was a bandit.
Smokey was a bandit. I don't know if you can have a bandit as a pet.
She was a gray cat.
A cat?
God bless her.
I remember Smokey.
Yeah, I put her in the microwave once, thanks because of Jamie Madrox.
But we didn't hit the buttons or anything.
No.
Just put her in there.
Lord, no. That's my girl Smoke. Nope. Took her right out. No problems.
I like it.
She lived a good life, and then she had a tumor on her head. God bless. Maybe I did turn it on. Maybe I did.
Maybe make sure you speak into the microphone.
I don't want no one to hear that part.
Yeah, get your mic a little closer to those pretty lips.
And to his left, as always, the producer, Dominic.
Hi.
How are you today, bud?
I'm pretty good.
What was the name of your first pet?
So I guess I had two.
Two first pets.
Yeah, so I had a dog and a cat. It was Sammy or Samantha and Azrael. Sammy was the cat, and
I was so wrong.
Yeah, Azrael. Sammy was the dog. Did I say cat? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I fucked it up. Okay, boop, back in time. Sammy was the dog,
right,
and Azrael was the cat. I got all kinds of stories about that cat. That again, thinking this is why kids should not have cats because it's a different type of animal.
Yeah,
but they were awesome. They fought a lot. You were actually at my house when Sammy passed. I think.
Aww.
Yeah,
sure was.
He slept over, so that was kind of nice that I actually had
a baby.
Yep. I had someone there for me, when that happened. But no, Sammy was awesome. I actually got some footage of her still on the cameras when we started this whole idea.
Yeah.
Looking through all my stuff, I found videos of her and the cat. It was cool. It's cool to see.
Absolutely. Yeah. Me, I'm Rick. I'm Sick Rick, the kid with the hot bars, and my first pet was a poodle named Sassy, dude.
What?
Yeah, right?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I had another one named Sugar right after that, and they were mean little bitches.
Sassy and Sugar.
They were cute. They were adorable, but they were not having life. They were angry all the time. And then whenever I moved to Florida, actually, I got a redheaded poodle named Lady, and this dog was a show dog. She was gorgeous. But, I was a kid. I didn't know how to take care of a dog very well.
Did they have legs?
Fortunately for us, they did, unlike my mom, right? Because one of us had to follow those fucking dogs. It couldn't be her.
Took me a minute to get the joke, which is really sad.
Josh is just here fucking up the program. Love to see it.
I like it's the comedy.
That's why I don't come around enough.
You could come more. My pup lady eventually got sold, so I moved back up to Pennsylvania and never got another dog again. Eventually ended up with a couple cats that I love very much. But now here I am.
Speaking of a couple cool cats.
With a couple cool cats. That is kind of where I was going to an extent. But yeah, you're going to steal all my punchlines tonight because you're the professional comedian.
One.
Nope, you got this.
Okay.
So something weird we're going to do tonight. I am not the host.
What?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Get out.
I'm not hosting this episode.
Who's hosting this episode?
I mean, I thought it was you.
No.
You're not hosting?
Am I?
There's only 3 people. No.
Wait a minute. If it ain't you,
Yeah.
if it ain't me,
Yeah.
it's got to be Dominic.
It's got to be.
It might be me.
And I think he's done enough of these so far that he's probably up to the task of doing it. But I just don't know enough about the deep cuts of ETW to be able to actually tell the story on this one.
You know what? Even before I even get into that, I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Is this too much?
I don't think it's enough, baby girl.
I mean, I just feel like men have been criticized for sitting with their legs crossed, and it's not that bad.
No, I think whatever's most comfortable for you. Like, if you love that, I think keep doing it.
How do I look?
Great.
All right.
Always great.
I think especially when you side sit and you do it,
Yeah.
like you listen to this. You know what I mean? Like one of them.
Listen. All right. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
We are doing this for multiple reasons, right?
Yeah.
When we did the very first episode of this podcast, it looked and sounded like the very first episode of this podcast, right? Like very, very apparent why it has less views, less engagement. We were learning. And now we feel like we kind of have this down to a science, at least we hope. Every time we do one of these, something fucking blows up.
It does, but the end product gets better and better every time we put one out.
Yes, I completely agree. So that's the first reason. We have gotten a lot better at this, and like I think we just owe it to this era to kind of revisit it and talk about it
To the people.
Yeah, to the people. Another reason is we found some footage, some earlier footage.
Yeah, some stuff we
Which-
thought was in a dump.
Yeah, in a dump, and that might, if you really are paying attention, you might have some speculation on what we might have found or didn't find. So that's one. Another reason, right? This is a really good one. Is we are going to clarify and clean up some maybe mistakes from I wouldn't call them mistakes. I would just say information that we weren't too privy on. You know, we got more information, so we could really kind of dive back into those things and add context to what was missing. Mm-hmm. And then my favorite reason.
The biggest reason.
The biggest reason. This is such a big reason.
It's literally, if I'm being honest, it's the only reason.
Yes, we wouldn't do this without this reason.
Yeah.
All of the other reasons equal to 50%, then this reason equals...
Is 100%.
Yeah, which is 100. That's math. Because this guy wasn't here
Right.
for that episode. And that would not exist without that.
Absolutely.
You heard it here.
And there and everywhere.
So I got to just start this thing off as I get emails that Alt of You had 117 listeners this month. That's great.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, thank you guys. I got to ask you, in any way you want to answer this question, what is or what was ETW?
ETW.
Yeah,
Where do I even begin?
that's a great
Probably the beginning.
What is ETW? ETW. That's what it is.
Fuck if I know.
Fuck
Fuck
fine.
fine.
We should have painted our faces for this.
We should have.
That
There's
would've
still
been nice.
time.
Yeah.
Ready with the visual effects and
Didn't work this
Damn.
time.
shit.
Did we do that?
We might have. Are we telekinetic? I think that was a girl I dated in high school.
I'm definitely not.
Telekinetic.
I'm not telekinetic nothing.
All right, so we tried to snap into Insane Clown Posse face paint, but our neighbor's car alarm went off. So
We will get better at that as time goes on too, for sure.
Listen, I don't know. We're lucky, I guess. We're really lucky. But yeah, continue.
ETW. I would say at the time it was is a creative expression for kids. I would say for real though, it was a way to start down a road of creativity, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if we didn't do the stuff we did as kids, you know, I mean, you that parlayed, I feel like, into music for you.
Oh yeah.
You know, well, pro wrestling for me later on, and then comedy now. So I feel like it was just the looking back at it now, I would say it was the stepping stones to where we now as adults have all of this creative expression.
That is not the answer I expected, but it's a way better answer than what I was thinking I was going to get.
It is a great answer. Yeah, absolutely.
That I actually have never looked at it that way. And that is such a missing piece to it, because it really was our creative outlet. You know, I often wonder if when we did it, especially at the very beginning, and I just talked to Rick about this, did we even say that we were backyard wrestling?
I mean, maybe. I don't think we really knew. I would say what we classify backyard wrestling as now versus what we did then, they're two different things.
Very.
Because there's, even like when we were teenagers or like in like SWC and everything, like I would say that's a further down the line extension of what backyard wrestling is. We were just wrestling on a trampoline and filming ourselves doing it because that's what we know. We know when you wrestle, you're supposed to film it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Because why else do it? Right?
Yeah.
Why would you want to have fun if everybody can't see it?
Right, because that's before.
That's the world we live in.
I mean, that's before, because that was what, 2004?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's before it's before any social media. It's before like a way to put this video out. It's just for us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just a way for us to enjoy what we did
just
and
to
look
watch
back
it.
at it. Yeah, it's just home movies. That's all.
Oh my God, yeah, it really is home movies.
Yeah. So, we did it. It's just, like I said, to me at the time, if you're going to look at it, it's a way we want to be wrestlers. It's the same thing as if we were to go play baseball or whatever else, but we just know when you do wrestling, you're supposed to film it. That, to me, that's how I look at it as far as that goes.
And I'm thinking, since we really didn't actually film ourselves to what we'll get into till August, I mean, you potentially got that trampoline. What did we say for you got it for Easter with Easter money? So
it would have been like April or whatever, maybe March.
So we had to have been messing around on that, maybe even with my wrestling buddy dolls.
Probably.
And had this want to do it, and then it eventually we just all right, let's just do it.
We needed more people.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Then we figured it out. Yeah, because I wanted one just to have it and just have a trampoline.
Yeah.
So
did you ever feel that way, Rick? Like, did you ever specifically want a trampoline so that you could wrestle on it, or is that some niche?
Did I definitely not want a trampoline for any reason? Not only that, I didn't even have the idea that I could also wrestle until you guys were already done doing it. Like, whenever I saw Quinn wrestling Steve, I'm like, people do this? Like, there's motherfuckers out here literally in their yards having wrestling shows. Like, I want to do that.
Absolutely.
And I was also doing drugs.
Yeah, that's fine.
It sounded exciting for a little 18-year-old pothead. That's for damn sure.
Absolutely.
You got a camera for wrestling?
Yeah. I basically begged my mom.
Because I feel like
I
don't remember that. Like that being the reason why you got a camera.
Yeah, mainly it was because we filmed that match that we're gonna watch. But I didn't have the camera when we filmed that. So
you didn't?
No. So when me and Steve had that little rift.
Oh, that was his camera.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
so that it wasn't filmed on that one. I convinced my mom to go out and buy the same one because I really, really wanted to do that at this point. And I was dead set. And again, it brings me back. You were right. I needed to create content in any capacity. I just didn't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of why I bought the camera. There was really no filming aspirations. I mean, she literally said, "You're going to use this once and be done with it." And here we are. 2024. Yeah. But, we've alluded to it, so I think we should get into it. But before we watch this, I want to tell y'all what you're about to see.
Here's a word from our sponsor.
That's right.
Fuse.
We often refer to this as the triple threat.
That's what I was always told about myself. I'm the triple threat. I could sing, dance, and act.
Oh, I didn't think you were going with those three, but that's fine.
I didn't either. That's a very. I was thinking. The dancing, yeah.
Sorry.
So this triple threat happened in August of 2004.
Okay.
So this is the first time that Josh and myself, at least to our knowledge, filmed ourselves backyard wrestling.
Yeah.
Even if we didn't know we were backyard wrestling. Steve was also there. It was his camera. And, I don't even know if ETW was even an idea at this point. I'm hesitant to say that it came very, very slightly after, but it's hard to say. But yeah, this is not a good match.
It's a great match.
But it is the very first time, and I have to say, man, it's nice to be able to have that, you know?
Shout out Steve, by the way.
He found this footage.
Yeah,
The cowboy.
yeah. Shout out Beastie.
Oh, speaking of, if you really listen, you'll hear some cowboy.
So yeah, he got his hard drive recovered, and it had all this old ETW stuff that we thought we would never fucking see again. So it's really cool that we are able to do this right now.
Yeah, and it makes sense that he would have it because he filmed this match. Oh, you hear that? Had to leave that in there. So that is Beastie.
Is this a...
No, this is Dominic.
It sounds generic.
Well, that's what I'm...
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know
You
this
were trying to make sure it wasn't copyright.
Yeah.
royalty free.
Yeah, please, YouTube, do not take this down. I swear to God, I wrote
Did you
this.
just flip the bird?
I did.
In age?
Did you see the
Yeah, you
the
guys are
Austin
babies,
title?
bro.
Yeah, we're
Do you even know
children.
what that means? I'll tell you a quick funny story after this about flipping the bird with you.
Oh yeah.
Is it? Oh, yes. So, as you watch this, you're just gonna notice it's cut after cut after cut after cut because this video is 27 minutes long.
Not a second less.
Yeah, we did a bang up job on making it look passable.
And I think part of the deal with this match that you notice whenever you're looking at it is that you guys are just little WWE fans. You're just little kids.
Yep, the
Like
stunner.
yeah, right.
You're watching kids being kids.
Exactly.
We're getting our creative expression out.
And that's a lot of people ask.
Oh,
you know,
there it is.
Yep. Oh no, that was me that took that.
Oh shit.
This is where Josh died.
Oh yeah. Oh, no.
Why'd I leave my head like that?
Hey, you do what you got to do, right? Had to leave this in
Off
for
of
you.
the shirt.
Yeah.
You're about as big as you were then.
You ain't lying.
Look at this stuff.
Oh, that was sick.
Great punches.
Look at that footwork.
Oh, big neck bump.
Absolutely.
I did that to Steve once, and it like literally broke my back.
What would we call that?
Spinal.
move? Oh, this is great. You're gonna get some
Look at that
really up
kid,
close.
bro.
As a baby.
You were the world tag team champion.
Always a heel.
By himself.
All right, you're gonna hear something. Does this moment right here not feel like a dreamscape? How far back we're looking in time?
Yeah.
I mean, the sun was out. You probably heard some birds. I wish I could go back in time, man.
That looks
Or
like
visit it.
That looks like as comfortable and content as you could possibly be as a human being.
Yes, the happiest
Yeah.
you ever gonna feel. My title, y'all.
It was. Fuck him.
I really want you to listen to the end of this video because I did something specifically for you.
Oh, Steve won.
He did win. You're going to notice way less cuts. Although this song is short, there were not enough good moments in this 27-minute match to add to a full song. Sorry.
I'm the real champ. Bro, that's the Stone Cold belt. That thing's sick.
Thanks for selling that.
Yeah,
He stepped away.
that whole match, I was pretty much the worst. So we're friends, you know.
Everybody's friends. It's ETW. We should start a company together. Look at Dominic. He's so happy.
Thrilled to lose. I love this. Like I said, I had fun. All right, here you go. That's not even it.
I should have won.
Productions. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, the first match, the triple threat, the beginning of what maybe even was or was not ETW.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you made fun of the name earlier, how it's unoriginal, but I feel like at the time when we came up with it, we were
yeah.
like, this is the best name in the world. I feel like it wasn't until Steve was like, do you know how many people are out there with that same Fed name?
Yeah.
Because he's
we were
in
not privy
yeah.
to that information.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he would only know because he's on these message boards and everything.
That's a good point.
Which that's neither here nor there, other than he has more exposure to the world. He's more worldly than we were.
You would
Yeah.
have to think, too, when everyone was coming up with their ETW at the time, that was really the boom of everyone getting trampolines. So if you were thinking about wrestling on one in that time period, everyone's doing it almost parallel to each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Meanwhile, let me ask you a question. Retrospect: all the people that you know throughout the country, the world, perhaps.
Yes.
That have the backyard wrestled.
Yes.
You personally.
Yes.
How many do you know were in an Extreme Trampoline Wrestling Federation?
Specifically, I know of 2, and I know of a third ETTW.
Well, that's too many. That's too many.
I feel you.
'Kay.
So 2.
All right. That's a little more than I expected you to say,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
I got everything that ever happened, bro. I'm at least going to know 2.
Okay.
I know 2 SWCs. I know 2 SCAWs.
I'll tell you what, I'm not mad at it. That's,
Right.
that's good.
Wait.
It's a good number.
He found something and sent it to me the other day, and
Yeah.
this had some serious Mandela effect vibes.
Yep.
It was ETW versus HCW
Oh, goodness.
for control of the company. And I thought to
Oh,
myself,
for real?
yeah, I mean,
What were those acronyms for? The HCW.
hardcore championship wrestling?
Probably. I didn't even
Hardcore
click
Wrestling
on it. I was
Championship?
so
That makes
blown
sense.
away that I scrolled past it.
I mean, it is incredible how passionate and how unoriginal we could be to every extent.
It's where everybody started, I
Yeah,
guess.
absolutely.
In the world.
I mean,
the whole world.
We grew up on
Literally right
technology.
now, there at least one kid, there could be a group of them, but there's at least one kid that watches our old backyard wrestling, watches these podcasts. He's excited about the reunion show that we posted the video of, and he is maybe your guys' age on that video wrestling with his brother on a trampoline.
He better be.
Wow.
And not only that, he just heard us shout him out. So he's like, "Oh my God, that's
My
me."
guy,
And he better get
Jonathan.
good grades.
Yeah.
He better stay away from them girls because they ain't up to nothing but no good.
That's right.
And,
And be
we'll
safe.
talk when you're older.
Be safe.
If
Be
you're gonna
safe.
hit yourself in the head with something, make sure that it's not too dense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will be.
Take care of yourself.
So yeah, trampoline wrestling
And
is the
each
thing
other.
that a lot of kids try to do, especially because it's fun as a motherfucker, right?
Speaking of how fun it is,
Yeah.
that's my first segue.
Was it a good one? Let's see.
Your thoughts on that match? What do you remember, if anything, and what was it like watching it?
I don't. Well, I was gonna say I don't remember much about it, but I remember the match. In terms of, I feel like that was that was the kickoff of everything. I don't remember other than hey, we're gonna wrestle and film it.
Yeah.
Great, because it lasted almost 30 minutes, so clearly there wasn't a lot of planning that went into it.
No, there.
There couldn't be any. It looks like maybe you guys knew Steve was gonna win.
And I'm trying to think.
was,
I don't even
yeah.
remember how that was decided, or you know what I mean, how.
For whatever reason, we had 2 bouts. I think you came out with one, and I came out with one, and they were both on the line because we filmed them. So we knew right off the bat that this match was a triple threat and that it had a stipulation. But for the sake of doing it, I just specifically what I remember from that match is really the sounds. When I watched it, I've seen a lot of things I remember, but the audio, the my title y'all or I should have won, those things, that was good, right?
That was pretty fucking
Yeah,
close.
those things,
You need to laugh at the end.
right? Those things are weird, right? Because you'd never think about them, and then they hit your brain, and it just goes. Whew, I remember that, and it's just such a strange feeling. So I just love that was able to exist and be seen again, even if I never watch it again from this day, which I'll have to because I got to watch the podcast.
Absolutely, you better.
Yeah, but is that a knock on the door?
What's the password?
Come on in. Hold on, we got to wait in front of it. We're gonna move it. I couldn't imagine what this is for. Jeez, we're in the middle of a podcast. Who could this be? Hello, it's my wife
Oh, it's a motherfucking
with cookies.
Jesus.
Everybody,
you.
hey, wait.
Big D.
Everybody, say what's up to Danielle. She's like, what, 7 months pregnant? Can't get this.
Girl, you haven't gained a
What's
pound.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. What up, Danielle and baby?
There's a boy in there, and how big a boy are we talking? That's right. Coconut size.
Bro, I picked up a coconut before, and that's a pretty nice size.
Did you put the lime in the coconut?
So, I'm not fucking generic, bro. Come on.
All right.
What do you think I am, ETW? Jesus.
Wow.
So you guys don't know this,
All right.
but before this, unless you heard me whispering, I actually asked Danielle to do this because I wanted to go back to, episode 1. We did
Episode
this.
1, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So we got some cookies and stuff.
I love it.
And I remember us sitting there enjoying them and not being able to continue the podcast.
If I have one, I'm not going to stop. That's the problem.
I think the biggest issue is that you don't necessarily have to stop.
Here's the thing with me and cookies. I have a real bad asphyxiation with them.
Okay.
Because even one time at a wedding, I had a fair amount to drink at a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ain't watching this in Pittsburgh, apparently in Pittsburgh, only place in the world where there's a cookie table at the weddings.
Only place.
And I felt like in my mind, a little too much drink. I felt like I kept going up to the cookie table one too many times, and everybody noticed it. So I would casually walk by and just throw a couple in my pocket.
Did they notice, or did you think they know? Okay.
They just, no.
Okay.
They don't even know who I am.
Okay.
And then I slept in those pants, and the next morning I woke up with a bunch of crumbs in my pocket.
Oh my god.
I don't know why, then I remembered.
That's funny. That's really funny.
I'm
So I'm
big
sweating
fan.
right now looking
I'm
at
a
these
fan
bad
of your
boys.
cookie table shenanigans. You straight James Bonded cookies off the cookie table because you were embarrassed.
So after that match happened, we already talked about this, so we're not going to get really deep into it. But that's when, he didn't quit. We had one match. So me and Steve kind of got into it on AIM, and that was kind of the end of that moment there. So I knew I wanted to keep wrestling, right? I think obviously you did. We literally lived in walking distance from each other, like 20 feet. Mm-hmm. So I begged my mom for a camera, and we got it, and we started wrestling. But what you just watched there would have been the very first thing you would see on tape 1, right? ETW tape 1. Because when we mentioned the tapes, you got, tape 12 that we had. So that really is the very first thing. I kind of speculated that we, had those tapes talking about, we found stuff. We did not find those tapes. That match was filmed on Steve's camera, right? So he leaves, we have to get a camera, and then we kind of start. So I assume ETW basically was born at that moment, and then it got branded right after.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, because I guess we didn't, that was probably that was the pilot.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it. It really is the pilot.
But like an unscripted pilot, like you didn't know that it was a pilot. It was just
So true.
You were just doing something one day and you liked it so much that you were like, we should do this again tomorrow. And then whenever that we should do this again tomorrow happened a couple more times, you're like, well,
Yeah.
we should name what we're doing.
That's the worst part, was we couldn't do it the next day or the next day or the next day. I had to wait, and it was just excruciating. And that's probably why I came across as insane to Steve, because Steve sees me bombarding him on AIM like, let's get that camera over here and let's wrestle every second. And he's probably like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
I just taught you how to suplex. But
Yeah.
because Steve wants to be a wrestler.
I thought he was so obsessed with wrestling that would be the same.
Yep, it was the
moniker.
complete. I did not expect that reaction, and
Yeah.
it explains why me and him had such different mindsets about wrestling.
Yeah.
And come to find out, it would lead to more in the future. But it's just such a unique perspective. Even as a kid, you kind of know what you want. You just don't know how to verbally explain that. You know, so we're children at this point. Tapes 1 through 11 are still missing. Now, we mentioned Steve leaving. Steve doesn't join back with ETW for maybe 6 months. So that was tape 12. That makes his return around March 22nd, 2005. So where my brain told me tapes 1 through 11 was like a whole year, no. That is August through March.
Yeah.
I mean, that is such an insignificant amount of time.
Right.
So whatever is on tape 1 through 11 is, and I'm going to speculate here, but it would be everybody's debut, like Death McKenzie, Jay Pizzle, Kevin was Army Ninja, if you remember that. There also was a period where we moved the trampoline closer to your house, which we talked about. Funny to think that felt like it came way later. that happened between August and March, and it moved back between August and March. So many memories packed into a small amount of time.
Like a half a year, bro.
Literally a half a year. But I really want to clarify the tape situation, and also really get into how, not just a rift, right? Not the rift that was caused, but like what happened there. We were also changing as people and wrestlers, and we were getting older, and we were outgrowing the trampoline like we talked about.
Right.
This moment that kind of happened kind of allowed us to kind of branch out and all see what we wanted, which I thought was pretty interesting. You know, as I was watching the first episode, and I was sitting there watching the discourse between everything, I was so caught off guard by the way that by the way the conversation happened, and I was just like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, right.
And you know, when I think back in time and I try to put perspective of who that kid was on camera, I have now connected a lot of dots. Right? I've realized, okay, that was a little child, you know, who had a bedtime,
Absolutely.
you know, who had rules.
Yes.
So there's a lot going on in that head, right? When we talked about the tapes and what happened, it was like, all right, my mom is basically saying, quit asking me for money, right? Quit asking me to buy these tapes. Like, you and your friends do all this. She wasn't thrilled about backyard wrestling. She saw it as a very dangerous thing and someone stealing her cooking pans, right? So she's like, you know what? No, don't bother me with this, right? You know, so I mentioned like getting help for the tapes, and then you know, I'm thinking, and Steve's like, you know, I'm a kid, I don't have any money. And I'm like, damn, you're right. You really, neither did I. What's money? I'm like, you know, 7th grade. But then I'm like, wait a minute. Literally, I didn't have money either. I asked my mom, bro, ask your mom.
Yeah, right.
Like, just literally ask your mother, be like, yo, mommy. But as far as it goes, like, that was my baby, right? So it's not that you didn't care about the tapes. You really didn't care about my perspective, right?
Yeah.
So we got to get deep here, all right? So whenever I got a no from him, it's like, oh, whatever, right? But I know you weren't feeling it, and I get it. But I really felt at that moment, and this is why I started HWC. Me and you were partners. We owned ETW. We started that thing. And as soon as I felt like we didn't have the same train of thought, I was like, man, there goes my partner. And it didn't take long for that to happen. So that bummed me out a lot. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking to myself, like, I love this. I love doing this, right? And then all of a sudden it was like, this might not be the way it goes down. And that's why I kind of said, I was like, man, you could do both, you know, it wouldn't hurt. And that's why, like, I always say, man, I wish we had these tapes, because watching that match, it's like, oh, you know, it's just cool to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of why I went in the direction that I did. But I mean, I can't even remember the conversations. I don't know if you have any recollection on it at all.
I know I have the conversation saved.
Yes.
But it's on a hard drive that I don't know where it is.
Dude, this hard drive is the bane of my existence.
Isn't it?
You literally, like, text message. Well, it would have been AIM probably, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was through, it was AIM. Yeah. Honestly, if I don't remember much about it as far as why. If I had to guess, Steve probably approached me first before you did and said, hey, Dominic wants us to buy tapes or whatever.
Yeah.
He probably made his case first, because I feel like he was kind of like a silent partner, truthfully. You know, like
as soon as he got there, he took over for me, I feel, because I got injured, and then I really wasn't involved for a while at the end.
Is that when he would have came in, like in March or whatever you said?
Yeah, but I mean, I would say later on down the line, but like towards tape like 22, 24. Like, remember, like, I faked an injury and then I was hurt. Like, I was just not doing anything. So you two were really having shows when I couldn't be there. I guess that's when you guys got pretty close. So
I guess, yeah, because we were. And then, like I said, he probably kind of swayed me, or I heard him out first, you know, before you did. And then he probably just made sense to me at the time about whatever his argument was.
That's what I was just going to ask. Do you remember what the perspective even was? Because, like, Dominic's was obviously, I want to make tapes. I need tapes.
yeah, literally, look at me. Have I changed? I have a VCR. I am the most millennial idiot you will ever meet. I had to find that off Marketplace because I needed to watch these tapes. Like, why? Because I'm crazy.
Why not? You are the star.
Yeah.
I am the star. Yeah, we watched that before. We'll watch it again. It's very short. But, I mean, my point of view is, dude,
Well, that's the thing. I feel like as a kid, I didn't know Like, what did you just say before? Like, your perspective and how you felt about everything?
I just think
Honestly,
this way.
I probably didn't really, understand what that meant at the time as a
Oh,
kid.
yeah. And I probably didn't use those words. I didn't use perspective.
Yeah, I
probably
mean, and
was
you
like,
have an adult opinion about how you felt as a kid now.
because
And-
all it is I can't see how those tapes would have ever gotten in the way of anyone's vision. They could exist at the same time.
If I had to guess, and I really couldn't get, well, I was going to say, I have a feeling that either Steve, both of he and I, made a contribution of something monetarily to ETW, and you didn't for whatever reason.
Okay,
Good, bad, or indifferent. And so he probably felt Dominic didn't pitch in for whatever this was. So why should we pitch in for the tapes?
I
That
wonder-
rings a bell.
I
But,
wo- yeah, I
but
wonder
I
what
don't
it
know.
was.
I can't remember what it would have been.
I guarantee.
But it
that's-
had to be
that's the truth.
something.
I'm gonna hire a private eye to get in your house and find this hard drive.
You should.
I would love to read that. But yeah, man. I mean, that actually.
I don't even know if it would have came up in the conversations as much as it would have, say, between he and I. You know,
Yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean?
Okay, so it sounds like I was kind of the odd man out, regardless.
What was going on at the time? Do you remember? Was that out of control? Was that before that? After that?
It was after Out of Control, and it was probably right after, or not too long after Out of Control.
So it was after Out of Control was when you asked us to buy the tape. So you probably didn't pay for the wood that we used to make the entranceway.
No, I didn't.
So that would be why we didn't do the tapes.
Okay. So I wonder if I was.
you.
I wonder. I wonder if I was asked.
If I had to guess, you probably were, because I feel like everybody was probably asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so it's like the contribution towards what you're giving to ETW.
You didn't
yeah.
contribute to Out of Control, so
Yeah.
go buy your tapes type of thing, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
And honestly, I don't know. This is as dumb as I was as a kid. I don't know if I would have arrived at that thought had it not been presented to me in that way.
I guess I see my.
I have self-influence tattooed on my wrists, and that's not true at all.
That's fair. Same.
That
Literally-
came after.
Literally same.
That came after that part.
I am not above the influence of alcohol. And drugs. I'm above
We're all
peer
fakers
pressure.
here.
Yeah.
No, not me. I always told you who I was. Day
right.
one, you knew Sick Rick was the kid with the hot bars.
That makes sense, though. I would just say that my contribution at that point was the tape, so I absolutely see why you guys would say, oh, well, he's paying for that. He's not going to pay for this, right? So it makes sense. Can't really remember it directly. The only thing I could think is I was not privy to the anger that it may have caused whenever I said that I didn't. Because it probably comes from the same pressures of saying, how do I ask my mom for money for this this wood when I'm already annoying her for the tapes and she doesn't want me doing this?
Yeah, and we were po.
Yeah, so
all us.
we basically, again, and it goes back to we all had very specific visions, and we just started growing up at this point, right? We're just about to hit like a puberty wall or something, and those things became very important to us.
Like, even as an adult, it's hard to not think selfishly. Even in like the grand scheme of things, it's like what I want good in the world, it's still what I want good in the world, you know? Like, it's not what do I think Josh thinks makes the world great. It's like I have all these great ideas that could be good for humanity, and it's like maybe 90% of humanity doesn't agree with me. So like I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing for everybody when most people are like, why is this fat kid trying to rule my life? Like, go back to animals, you know?
I feel you, man.
So like when you're younger, it's even harder to separate like your specific point of view and your perspective with maybe the larger group of things, because to you, tomorrow doesn't matter, and yet it's also the only thing that matters. So it's crazy being a child.
You start to get this concept of disrespect, even if it's not there.
Yeah.
You feel for the first time in your life what it's like to oppose a friend or think differently from a friend, so you take it very personally because it's the first time you're experiencing this in life, right? So you're just like, well, what the hell? Who would have known that this situation would have made our entire wrestling, projection down the line and stuff we're going to look at even better.
Right.
Because it literally lifted the idea of what we were doing. But before we get in that, there is one thing before we wrap this little segment up. This is, to me, this got to be out there.
The tapes.
Tapes 1 through 11 are still missing, right?
Yeah.
And I think, I have to say that 3 times. I think I know what happened.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I cannot say for sure. All I know is I don't know why this information would be in my brain otherwise.
Okay.
So bear with me. I know this part to pretty much be fact. Steve did ask to borrow the tapes at one point.
Yeah.
The tapes that he didn't care about.
Right.
He needed to borrow them. I feel that. Right? If you notice I still have some, it's because I had serious trust issues. The intuition of that kid, aka me, was spot on.
Right.
But anyways, I gave those tapes to him in this big black garbage bag. Because, like, how are you going to, like, get a bunch of tapes and give them to someone? I don't know. I'm stupid. I'm like, what? I don't even know how old I am. 14? 15? Yeah. Let's grab a garbage bag. We'll throw them all in there and give them to him. So that feels like that needs to be true. At some point, we think that Steve gave these tapes to Josh in that bag, right? And I think that this happened. I think the tapes then got transferred to you. So I don't think I ever directly gave them to you. I think that Steve, then you. And then that is the last landing place. So there's two possibilities for these tapes. They're either in a dump, like we thought, or they are potentially in some kind of crawl space or attic area in your house. So there's still a very slim amount of hope that they can exist somewhere. I wanted to show a brief HWC moment. Do we have that?
Oh, you know. I mean, even though I'm not the host, I'm still coming correct. I'm the media guy. I'm the guy that you want to come to for all situations, backyard wrestling media.
So before you play this, I will just say,
nope, I'm playing it right now. No.
Obviously, I went and started HWC, and then a show that, man, I'm so excited to watch the actual match at some point. But this was probably my favorite pay-per-view we ever did. But starting HWC, one of the things we missed in the first episode was the very first invasion storyline-wise. So what we're going to watch is the first time ETW came into HWC and attacked us.
Yeah.
And it's really quite great.
And Josh is the prettiest one in the video.
Facts.
Guys, you're right.
So who we got? We got me and
JP.
Oh, that was a cool powerbomb.
That's why I left it in.
Nice.
You
Thank
gave me a timestamp that was a little further. I'm like, oh, leave that.
So I'm just wrestling. This is just a match for the title. I don't know. Yeah, probably my rematch.
This
for
is a
the belt.
rematch from Revolution, right?
Yeah,
AKA the AEW pay-per-view that's happening this Saturday.
that's right. I had it
Sunday.
first. Yeah, this is HWC Defiance episode. Who fucking cares? But we're just having a match, and listen, I just strapped JP up, so he absolutely isn't losing that. Who the?
Oh!
Okay, this is so unexpected.
Oh, Mako!
Guys, that's Mako, aka Paul. He is a shark. If you pay close enough attention.
Hey!
So, Death. What is happening? Wait, is that?
Wait a minute.
Death is going after you.
How did he know I was going to be there
Wait a minute.
Wait, how did you know he
to
wasn't?
oppose it? You're right.
Is Death going after his tag team partner? His brother in arms?
Did I just put a shirt on really quick?
1, 2, 3.
I hope so. Yeah, you were actually filming this and being involved in the attack and commentating.
Yeah.
The triple threat.
That's what I thought he was going for.
There's the
That was
Punisher.
sick. That's what was so cool.
We are backyarders here
Yep.
in a capacity.
Front yarders.
Front yarders? Yes, we are fake.
Man, God bless him for powering through that
We
sunburn.
have Death, Mad Dog, and Jay Piz on the side of the ring right now.
You really did.
Sure, stand by.
Yeah, I'm telling him he's lucky
I don't know where
because
little Jay went to.
obviously I'm not
Dude,
gonna
he
win
looks
his
like
belt.
he's not moving his shoulders.
And then me and Death, how is that possible? We're
The
s-
dictatorship.
Mad Dog,
wow.
shaking
Oh,
hands.
Spike was on Team ETW, y'all, not the dictatorship.
Right.
That was said in episode 1.
That's not.
Nico's
Yeah.
just
Spike is
dead on
team
the
ETW.
ground.
Look at those eyes.
You got to send him that
dead.
picture.
Oh my gosh. So, wow. This is like the end of an episode? I assume, yeah, it would have to be. There's JP. He's like, I don't even know what happened, but I'm still the champ, right?
Yeah, because you played the Defiance music there, so I had to turn it down.
This moment here, right? You see this happen. So obviously we are friends again. Everybody's homies. So we know, let's have HWC versus ETW, right? This footage has been I guess, lost for a very long time, but Steve found it on his hard drive. So we can watch the entire show.
Yeah, it's kind of beat to shit, honestly. Like, the quality's not great, but I did the best I could at cleaning the bad bear up.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Also, this is the show that Steve mentioned that the 2XW guys were supposed to come to, who was like B-Cubed and Damian Dupree, and I don't know what Matt Namo's name was at the time, maybe 1,300-pound butt cheeks.
Solid.
Captain Foam Pit, something like that. I don't know. But
Captain Foam Pit.
Yeah, he got stuck in a foam pit once. But yeah, so they were supposed to come to the show. Steve actually found like a little thing that he made where he like put who should go over who to make sure that all three companies win the same amount.
Oh,
so like
I see.
he sent that to me because he found it. But yeah, that was just something I wanted to add in there real quick. BQ was gonna be here, I guess. When backyards collide, who's Bakura? That's Dominic, right?
I would think it's me. Those look like my shorts, and that
Yeah,
looks like
that's
my
you.
body language.
So this is you versus Steve in masks.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, we are keeping score here who wins these matches. There's the Fuse apron.
Yeah, it was a good time.
What do wrestling rings have? Are they called aprons, or are they called something else now?
Skirts.
Apron.
Okay.
Yeah, ring skirt.
The apron is what you land on. It's the hardest part of the ring.
So this is actually kind of funny because
Whoa, that
obviously,
was
like,
cool.
it was.
Right into the Styles Clash?
I think this would end it.
Shit.
There's
it
nowhere.
better.
It better.
All right, ETW World Champion.
But he was on your side.
Yeah.
Juggalo. Why do I
Wait,
love-
you coming out with a paper?
Yeah.
Were you about to serve him?
That's the AJ Todd mask. Is this
Oh, that's
AJ
wood.
Todd?
Was that a paper or a board?
No, that can't be AJ Todd. That's Juggalo. Or, I mean, Juffalo. A choke slam.
Oh, what, Indie Punch.
Look at that crowd. The support.
They're hot. Hey.
Yo, look at that.
Beautiful. This isn't bad. This isn't half bad.
It's like even the growth, and like we'll take a quick look at it here in a minute, but the growth that you guys had between Out of Control and even this show, like you could tell everybody's already getting better. Like it just seems like the skill level was increasing expepenally really
Yeah.
quickly.
We knew at this point what it was like to kind of have eyes on us.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
they would expect.
We were hot.
Yeah. They really, I mean, they enjoyed it. Even if it was just them entertaining the kids, it worked.
E got all the belts.
Yeah, I know what that felt like in my eyes to like perform in front of this crowd, but I'm curious what it felt like for them to watch us. Like it's just the kids in the backyard
Playing.
Where they're yeah, exactly.
Maybe because there was a camera on, they felt different about it.
I feel like my mom felt like it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Error.
Look at how he landed. He was pretty much dead. Part of the reason I came out with the Punisher here is because
You guys vacationed all the time?
yes, Ronnie, he grew out of this before this match. He was kind of done with this, and he was probably even a little nervous to come out there in front of people because he wasn't at the 720.
Oh, that was sick.
Didn't he get nervous like and we had to not pause the show, but we delayed the show cuz we had to like kind of tell him
Probably.
it was him or somebody.
But I told him, I said, I'll come out with you. I will be your mouthpiece. I'll do anything you need, and he did it. And I think it might have been pretty much the end for him. God bless him.
God bless him.
Because he didn't work Out of Control, right?
No.
So this is like his first experience in front of an actual crowd doing this.
Exactly. Yeah. And he did a good job in terms of just kind of putting away that worry and just doing it.
Yeah, right.
So this is a big one.
Perfect Sean Phoenix versus the champ Jay Pizzle.
Could you imagine seeing these guys wrestle in the future?
Never.
Yeah. Lockups.
Oh,
What are
I'm
they-
scared. A little scared. It's okay to be a little scared.
Who's that cameraman back there?
That's me.
That is you. We never even knew.
That's money making Mark.
Money making Mark.
Because I was here.
Shout out Mark. We love Mark.
Shout him at.
What's going on?
No, this was just filmed at 1 frame per second.
Yeah. It does seem like it's the video.
Yeah, I think it is. I wouldn't worry too much unless it actually completely stops. So this match for about?
I think it was for the Laos.
So ETW won the first match,
Oh.
and ETW won the second match.
Jesus. Is he going to tap? No. I expected a tap.
It
Not
has
gonna
just
lie.
been 2 matches, right?
3, right?
E beat Punisher.
Yeah, so that's ETW.
And then, yeah, Bakura.
Bakura.
Lost.
He got in trouble for this. My neighbor said, "No fence."
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Oh, my God. This was dope.
Was it?
Was it, though?
Oh, yeah, that
Yeah.
was cool.
That was probably one of the best spots of the show. Wow.
So Steve was already learning linker guys stuff at this time, right?
Yeah, Steve's body language in this match was perfect. I mean, he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, he was a wrestler. He definitely knew about backyard wrestling at this point, for sure. You could tell.
The way he's dressed.
There goes
Yep.
my net.
Look at
Oh,
that was insane.
crazy destroyer.
The trampoline really saved our lives, maybe. Okay, so ETW's first win.
Yes.
So now it's 2-1.
It's up to me.
All right, this is I gotta tell you, man. This is, as far as pay-per-views go or big matches, this is my favorite match that ever happened.
It's a beautiful dress I'm wearing. It's the longest T-shirt in the world.
Boom.
This is the dance.
The dance.
This intro was all planned.
That's crazy to hear, considering what we saw, like, literally at the beginning of this episode with the
Yep.
triple threat. This
Get on
is
your feet.
Such a different level.
I love this. We always had to do the Undertaker DDT.
We still got it.
We had such good this is I can't even say what I'm about to say.
It would probably be pretty cool to see you guys try to wrestle again, like, now,
Yeah.
like this year.
Maybe
Yeah.
we could do that intro. Look at that, the head spike. I know who taught me that.
Oh, that was the flying squirrel.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is such a good match for a trampoline.
Look how strong I was. Ready?
Wow.
Reps.
Honestly, on a trampoline, that's impressive. That is more impressive on a trampoline than
Brain
it is on flat
damage.
ground.
Oh, back
good.
body. My first hurry. Look at the reaction was dope. And then my turn. Oh. That's a great move, whatever it
That's
was.
the first and last time I
This
did that.
really disappointed me. I felt like a bitch. I should have just let my back hit the floor and let Jesus take the wheel.
Like you've said in a lot of these episodes, though, like
Safe.
going backwards and landing randomly was not your favorite thing to do.
Yeah, I got hops on a trampoline. Best spot of our lives. See ya.
Bye.
The Undertaker Randy Orton spot that we stole. Wonder if we can still do it. I doubt it.
I don't think you can handle
Oh,
my kid.
shit. Pedigree. Nope.
Did I debut the finisher? No, been doing it. And we're all tied up.
4 count.
Wait a minute. Who's that? That's Jay Pizzle. Wait a minute. That's the Punisher. Are we about to all-out brawl?
Is that what's coming? I didn't watch this. Oh, shit. Here comes E and the fucking Messiah of
Shadow Samurai,
machetes.
who
Yeah.
miraculously shrunk.
This is a cool little moment that happens here. And if, Rick, you didn't watch this, you might appreciate
didn't.
what Steve does here. It's actually smart. Watch, he'll look at me because I don't know what the hell's going on. He says, get him out of here. I had no idea what he was going to do. Oh, there's JP's dad. I'm a heel. I'm out of here.
And that was it?
Yep, that was it. That's how we ended the show.
Okay.
Kind of rebuilding that feud. It was a really cool thing because, I mean, that needed to be even.
Uh-huh.
Because at the end of the day,
Nobody was putting the other dude over.
no, and we weren't done. Like HWC, I was still going on to it. And something that I kind of want to point out with HWC, after this show, we had some other shows. And I announced another pay-per-view. I don't even remember what it would have been called. But in that moment, I was standing in the trampoline. I probably never said this, at least on the podcast. I think Mackenzie was in the ring and Ronnie was in the ring. And I was like explaining what the pay-per-view was going to be. Mm-hmm. And at that moment, I could tell it was over. I could tell that nobody cared. I could tell that we outgrew the trampoline. I didn't maybe know these words that I'm saying, but I just felt it. I felt like it was over. I felt like nobody really was invested anymore. And, that would kind of lead up to kind of some of the next stuff that we're going to look at. But consider that not legitimately, but that's really the last thing HWC really did in any relevancy. The storyline after that was, why was death helping us, right? And we get into that. But Joshua, how did you feel about that match? What do you remember about that match? Have I asked you that before?
Why'd you say my name like that?
It's a callback. Joshua.
I choose not to react to that in any way whatsoever.
That's fine. That's fine.
No, that was a fun match. We would practice it all the time.
Constantly.
Yeah.
So wait, you practiced the whole match? You knew what you were going to do?
Pretty much. I don't know if... I feel like more than not, yeah. It was more than not planned out.
Yeah, every single thing in that match, for the most part, looks very on purpose.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
we-
I mean, that's just us. Like, that's just how we hung out. Is we would do that match. But it was that important to us to where we wanted to make sure that it was as pristine as it could be.
Yes. Yeah.
You know.
And that's why I feel fondly about it, because the effort we put into it paid off with the execution, because we didn't mess any of those major things up. Like that Undertaker spot, we practiced it and we did it a bunch of times, but I mean, every 6 times we'd probably mess it up.
Probably.
It's a trampoline. You never know what your knees are going to do.
Yeah.
And the relief I probably felt to get that move off was probably such a nice feeling, because people see that and they don't give a shit.
Right.
But it was just like we did it. Good job. And considering that, like, we never actually had, like, we wrestled each other a million times, but we never had that match. I think that was the first time we had our match,
Yeah.
So that really set the tone for why we wrestled each other so many times, from where we went.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, did you actually look at HWC as like a different thing, or was that just another trampoline that ETW was happening on?
No, I feel like I thought it was different. Like
there were battle lines? To an
I feel
extent.
like the line was drawn in the sand. He was making a statement. What are they doing over there?
What are they doing?
Down there on Rogers Street, huh? The extension, no less.
We got you down there. Well, no, that's not true. We got Turd Ferguson down there.
Turd Ferguson got there real quick. He was hilarious.
Excellent interviewer. So obviously ETW continued, and a little show called Out of Control 2 happened. But before we watch Out of Control 2, Rick made a video that we never got to see. And we're going to call this the Out of Control 1 refresh video.
Let's check it out.
I'm a big fan of this video. I'm a big fan of the guys in this video.
Hey, Joey G,
Joey
saving
G.
lives down there in Delaware.
2005.
July 31st, the last day of July.
Did they say the main event? This might be some of your PowerPoint work.
Yeah.
It's Josh's bass mixed with my 2024 brain.
That's where my video editing
That's untrue. You were doing okay stuff in 2009.
Did you use the raw tape footage that we transferred for this?
Yes.
Oh, this is pretty solid then.
Yeah, legit.
Dun, 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 dun.
I love the overlay. It's so good. Things we weren't capable of at that time.
That's what
Not
I
that
mean.
we
I
knew
didn't
about.
have an extension.
There's
of
Mark
what
again.
Was in my mind. PowerPoint was it. I know. I'm just talking to you guys.
We need to be talking about that.
He said I'm just talking to you. I love it. Okay, technically, while we're watching something, it is usually the case, but yeah. Does this kind of go between all the matches? Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. It's like a trailer.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, it
Took
was.
that, yeah. I love it. Good stuff. You
So
knew it
perfectly
was
timed.
important.
Yeah, of course.
See, don't let
He gets
anyone
it.
ever tell you that Rick doesn't care about someone else's
Yo.
product. I have learned that Rick loves every backyard wrestler ever backyard wrestle and
Rick
film it.
is backyard
Yes,
wrestling.
he is the godfather
you guys.
of backyard wrestling.
That's not me.
That is you.
No.
You are now. I said it on the podcast.
So it must be
Ooh,
true.
Thank you,
Oh,
by the way.
Fago.
Empty Fago bottle. The 450 and the kid's the champ.
So I talked with Josh a little bit about this show after we had episode 1, and I asked him about his feelings about Out of Control. You want to shed some light on that, like the first Out of Control, how you felt about it?
I feel like that was probably the biggest day of my life. Up until then.
Right. Not now still, but right.
It's up there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of planning went into that. So I feel like, kind of like with our match at what we just watched, Worlds Collide, I wanted everything to be perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I thought I wanted people to, like, just like friends that had nothing to do with wrestling, hold the curtain for us. Like, I felt like there needed to be an answer for every little problem, which is stupid.
I feel you, but that's how much you cared,
Yeah,
right?
not,
Yeah, that's-
not to the younger you, though.
Well, but yeah, that's the amount of thought that I put into it, or wanted to put into it, anyways. But like I was saying, like, even with video editing, I felt like I had so much creativity, but no no outlet, like no extension of myself to really do it. Like I didn't have a program to do to put on screen the thoughts that I had,
Right.
You know, to tell the stories that I wanted to tell. So, yeah, I just with that too, I felt like there just wasn't enough resources to carry off the actual execution of what I wanted for Out of Control. But felt like with what we did, everything was perfect. Like it couldn't have been any more perfect.
Yeah, and I didn't watch that for the first time. Like, I mean, I remember back in the day watching it at your house with Quinn at one point. At least his casket match, I remember watching that at your house. And I'm like, damn, this shit is gnarly, you know? But, like, watching it straight through for the first time, like, the production value and the stuff that you guys were doing on Out of Control is much higher than you see out of 95% of trampoline feds that ever existed. And the fact that you guys were doing that in, like, the middle of your second year of doing this shit as fucking 14, 13, 12-year-old kids, whatever, it's crazy. Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You could tell that you cared that much because of the product still, like, even to the fireworks at the beginning that might have went on.
Fireworks, ring apron, announcers, people in the ring with the storylines. I need you fans to sit here. I need the camera there.
Well, and we even gave them, like, we didn't film it, but we would give them a little rundown of the storyline before they watched the match they're about to see. Yeah,
We
so they could be
basically-
more invested in it.
We treated this like it was live. I mean, it was. When you invite people, it's
we
live.
treated it like a legitimate
Yeah.
business paying show.
But is it
promotion.
If let's pretend that in 2005 you could stream to the internet. If we would have streamed that to the internet, I would have said, gone off without a hitch.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like there was no like technical difficulties, which is so interesting because now there always seems to be technical difficulties.
I think that's just because there's so much technical.
Yes.
You know, back then it was like just as long as the stereo played right, nobody tripped over their own 2 feet, you were doing all right.
Absolutely. The standards were lower too.
Absolutely.
I feel that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't watch that show
No.
if it was streamed online.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, who would?
No, but that was the vehicle to get our creativity out, to get to the next level to where we are. Well, we
Yeah.
don't wrestle today, but you know what I mean? Just to get to the creative minds that we have now.
And here's a great point. If you do it, and we're saying it went so well, wouldn't you do it again?
Yeah.
Did we do it again? I don't think I did. Let's watch Out of Control 2 since we never got to. You're going to see something in Out of Control 2 that might perk your interest.
Are you going to see it, though? That's the real question, because this quality is rough, buddy.
Is it the base? Is that what we're going to see?
I think that's what he's talking about, right?
There's the mercenary. I'm just telling you.
I need you to tell the podcast, because that's what we're doing here.
That's my new favorite line. I'm just telling you. So this is the birth of the bass, I guess.
Big Bertha
Big Bertha.
of the base.
Were you excited about wrestling Out of Control 2 on the base?
Me, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because it felt like a ring that we could get in onto.
And it's still your house, right? So it's like
Yeah.
I have a fake wrestling ring in my backyard.
I'm surprised
now.
my mom was cool with that, really.
It does look dangerous.
It's an eyesore, though. You know?
Your mom probably loved having those people at her house for those days.
Yeah, she always wanted to be like the house where where everything
Love
happened.
that. I like that you guys had the knowledge to make the base large. It's
Yeah.
very big. Like
It paid off for us in the long run, too.
Yeah.
We needed that.
Do we remember what size it was?
16 by 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
He knew.
Yeah. Well, I used to have to buy the plywood, but the plywood was 8 by 4 and we used 4.
When did the net get? Oh, was it taken off for this specifically?
Probably, yeah.
Because you need to be able to do that. Had to have been. Yeah. This is great.
But at this point, what the fuck do you need a net for? We got a base in the yard.
Yeah. The trampoline is your turnbuckle.
If you don't
with
break your neck
perks.
on that, you're gonna break your neck on the base.
That 720 doesn't work on the base though. He needed the trampoline.
So this was obviously you versus Steve this day, but I think he said something about you guys both wrestled like 4 times or some shit, right?
In that day,
Yeah.
I was the mercenary.
Uh-huh.
And
Juggalo against Quinn.
oh, did that happen?
Yeah, that was the
Okay.
second match.
Oh shoot!
Is
All right.
this little J or is this is
Yeah.
not the mercenary yet?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So this would be 3, and then there's probably a dark match, at least one, because he wanted to wrestle Joey.
Yeah, right. Look at that, some wrestling going on. And this is like
Ooh.
this is the genesis of pretty much where we all started, or where we all ended up, I should say.
Yep.
But this is like the day one of SWC. This is BYS 0. This is like the first big show that happened on our base, you know? Like, and it's weird to say our because clearly this was your, but after a year of this, it turned into my, and then it turned into our.
Out of Control 2 was your pilot.
Right.
You just didn't know
and
it
I
yet.
wasn't even there.
That was crazy. Did that hurt? Can't remember, huh?
No.
450, have to do it in the trampoline. Oh!
I just sat down with it. Wonder why I did that.
It wasn't so rushing.
That was dope.
And they weren't allowed to wrestle on the base.
But they did anyways.
They did a few things.
It looks like they did a couple spots.
I mean, this ended them.
The base.
Yeah, they were maybe there for a little bit longer. I could be wrong for the length of time, but this really was kind of the end for both of them because not only were they growing out of it, but obvious concerns from anyone's parents, especially if they have eyes on it.
I was gonna say, I feel like Paul's parents probably weren't too cool with it.
Yeah,
since they knew it was there, because that's why he wasn't allowed on the base.
And if you watched Out of Control 1 and then you watch this, you're like, okay, hold on.
I love how he sells that shit there right there.
Yeah, I agree.
He was super into it, Paul.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
He had such a good attitude
Yeah.
towards everything.
He has my favorite moment in ETW. That was cool. Whenever he comes out the curtain and it falls over and he like is panicky, so he puts it down, but then he goes right back into being a shark. So this is Joey Explicit versus Sean Phoenix here.
Wow.
That's the first outsider visiting Pittsburgh.
Good old Joey living in Cali.
There's the Out of Control. Oh, look at that. There's the Out of Control entrance, which ended up becoming the SWC entrance.
Is it repainted for this, or is it still the original Out of Control entrance?
I think it was still the same.
Yeah, I don't think it got painted over at all until it became SWC. So yeah, this video is just like a slow song playing over it. It's just all the good moments from the secondary camera, some botching, some behind the scenes stuff, you know.
It's all right. Gotta have bad days to have good days.
That was dope.
Oh boy.
I really don't remember any of this.
For
This
them
is
not
fantastic.
being allowed to wrestle on the base.
That's what I'm saying. Are you sure
They
that's
sure did a lot on the base. I remember that's why the trampoline, I don't know if we were going to take it down, but I just remember they weren't allowed to. And then Mackenzie's mom during the match said, I can't wait to see the match between Mako and his mom over those dirty socks.
Yeah, I mean, if his mom saw him do that right there, I think she would not be happy.
Maybe that's why Mackenzie took the bump and not Paul.
But he won.
Feels good, right? Good. All right, I could do it.
Yeah, right. Definitely. Let's get underneath, figure out the carpet padding. Look at Big Quinn.
Was that me? Oh, here we go. Look at that. Still got it. I could do that right now if I wanted.
I believe it. I don't think you should.
The last one I tried was like 3 years ago.
You
What's
landed it?
happening here?
I did. I
Nice.
did.
Is the show over, or is
So yeah, this is all from like a second. I think the main camera was yours broken at the time?
I literally had my camera for like a week until it
Oh,
got
that's
broken.
it. It was only a week. I didn't realize how short of a period it was.
I'm pretty sure it was super, super, super short.
So what Steve said was there was 2 cameras for this show. One of them was like a behind-the-scenes camera doing all this type of stuff, and the other one was filming the actual show. I think that's what he said.
Mackenzie had a camera too, so
Could've
it could have
been
been his.
that,
Or
yeah.
maybe you let us borrow yours while you're on vacation. I don't know.
probably?
Just a little behind-the-scenes action. I mean, this is
Yeah.
kind of dragging on. There's not really a lot to talk about with it, but
That's
it's
that's Bakura, and
Yeah.
I'm not there, so
Super Dragon Mask. Whose is that?
Joey Explicit, I think.
Oh, that makes
this
sense.
footage is awesome. I mean, this is home movies right here.
Yeah, this is a good video for the people that were there. I mean, it's if you knew what was going on too. Like a lot of this, if people watch this and they're not privy to backyard wrestling, it's just friends being friends and growing up, and here's our memories.
Is
Yep.
that your mom?
Yeah, it's Mama Todd.
This is good behind. This is so cool.
Yep, of course. Very on brand that she didn't know someone was behind her to hold the door.
This is cool. Was the trampoline moved back? Did that take the place of where it was?
Yeah. Yep.
Quinn.
I want this played at my funeral.
I'll make sure it happens, bud, because you're definitely going out before me. Been eating all these cookies.
Is that a threat or a promise? Ow.
Ow. Ow. Who do we got here? Oh, there's that. There's that right there. That
There it
thing.
is.
Core belt. Are these like the ends of the match?
Yeah.
Okay.
The fallout. He did.
Head rush will do that to you.
And
Yeah.
like honestly, this video is much better if we could listen to the sound, but I'm 95% sure that it's copywritten in some way, so we just couldn't do that.
What can you do?
Look at that.
What? Juggalo getting some love?
I almost feel like that's not me.
It might not be.
Like, I'm not even being funny. I
else
felt like
would it
someone
be?
was wearing my stuff. I don't know.
E?
But yeah, I feel like it was.
It could have been JP or Steve.
Could have been.
Gosh darn death.
Because I think JP was in the
Master
Bakura.
of the universe.
Why
yeah,
is
he
Death
was.
hanging out with Steve?
Because he's death-defying.
Oh no. And then this is, I guess, pulling up to Steve's house, and this is the end of the video.
That's it, Fort Pitt.
So I would have been home at this point. Because I would have came over and came and watched the show with you guys.
Yeah, you came when we were watching everything. Mm-hmm. That was still like in the afternoon.
Yeah.
That was Out of Control 2. Was that as cool for you as Out of Control 1? Did it feel the same?
No, I would say not, but it felt. I would say Out of Control 1 felt bigger, but Out of Control 2 was probably bigger because we have this wrestling ring now.
Regardless, it was growth.
Yeah, it was growth, and I feel like that was more Steve's baby than it was mine. I feel like whereas Out of Control 1 was ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I was second banana, and not in a bad way, but I feel like it was more of his brainchild than it was mine.
We did mention this and we talked about this at one point, but I do kind of want to go back on it. Like moving from the trampoline to the base is one of the most important moments in like our backyard wrestling career, because if you don't do that, it's pretty much over. Like I mentioned when I was talking in the ring at HWC and talking about the next pay-per-view, I knew it was over. You either grow or you don't, right? So, for me, I think it might have came across that I like had reservations about the base. I don't think that was really the case for me. Like I didn't feel bad about the base or anything like that. I think it was just a disconnect from not wrestling on it for the first time.
Yeah.
But I loved the idea of the base and like wanted to get on it immediately, which is I think why I ended up on that KPW versus SCAW show.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean I was very quickly able to put HWC to bed. No more of that. We all kind of got back together. And then that's when I got hands off. And I no more filming on my end, no more tapes, nothing. I just kind of became more of someone who was kind of like a Mackenzie or something. Just I'm involved. I'm here
You're
to be
just
here.
talent.
Yeah. And it allowed me to probably like it again.
Yeah.
Because it came back around and I got to miss it, and then
Yeah.
we got to grow up, and like the things you do as a kid are cool, but like you aren't capable of a lot of the stuff we did until we grew up. So I think that show is enormous for us because, I mean, if you don't do that, if you don't put the base there, I don't know if we meet Rick.
You don't.
Yeah.
If the base doesn't exist, I have no reason to ever come in contact with you guys.
Yeah. So it's very like telling that was what we needed to continue this, but this is the moment that it distanced from the eyes of our neighbors and parents.
Yeah.
Because it got to the point where it was no longer like, I don't know if you guys should be doing this, and that's why some people dipped, and
Yeah.
I get it. Mackenzie lives 2 houses away. His mom can see what we are doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How old would he have been? Because he
He was older than me by,
Yeah.
I think, 1 grade.
So we were what? We were.
So that was 15. So he's in high school. He's probably a sophomore.
Yeah, and he was on the swim team and stuff. And he was in a band and everything. So he had
All kinds
he was a
of
real
stuff.
person.
Yeah, he was so out of it. Ronnie was out of it. I mean, I was kind of out of it, but this is when you guys decided, we're gonna be wrestlers.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I feel like that's when. I mean, that's what I wanted to do with my life. Mm-hmm. And then, how would you say we were 15?
I would have had to have been.
So you had to be
14. I was 14, going on 15.
Okay. Yeah. Because when I was 15 is when I started training.
Okay.
To be a pro wrestler, so that would have been what, 2 years after that. Then.
So you start having matches on a base, and you realize, oh my God, I'm pretty athletic.
Yeah,
right?
I'm
and
sick
then,
as fuck. Is what I said.
You're not that sick.
And then as soon as you're introduced to the idea of like possible training, let's go.
Well, I knew I wanted to do it. Well, so I discovered IWC. I discovered, what the hell was it? There was another promotion in town. But
I always just assumed that like you and Steve pursued that together.
Well, he introduced you to IWC first and indie wrestling first.
Yeah,
Steve.
I meant training.
So the pecking order was he was supposed to go first because he's older, and you had to be 16 to go to the school that we went to, the IWC school.
Yeah.
And I just asked Mark, the guy that we saw in the background filming, because he was involved like behind the scenes a little bit of IWC, and he just said, I asked him, I said, I'm 15. I'm like almost there. Like, can we? He goes, yeah. I'll ask if they'll make an exception or whatever. And then the trainer said, yeah, as long as he has a note from his mom, then he can try out. So, but in doing that, I skipped Steve for his big send off and for him to be the big, the first one to graduate backyard wrestling, basically. So I feel like that had a little bit of a rift in and of itself, because.
That makes sense, because you are now no longer just backyard wrestling together. You're almost competing for your careers.
Well, he didn't start until a long time after I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see.
So while we're talking about this, I actually have some found footage I want to run, and we can discuss more of SCAW and some professional aspirations here. I think this is like the only actual SCAW tape footage that exists on Earth.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So that's saying August 13th, 2006.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So is that out of control too?
Yeah.
It looks like it. It looks like the same show.
Yeah, that would be right between 8th grade and high school for me.
Yeah, this is a different camera from the same Out of Control.
Yeah, there's the gun.
That's Mercenary.
Yeah.
So this was this is the entrance. This is like the opening video for SCAW.
Yeah.
And the SCAW roster seemed to be.
I forgot he did that.
The main thing was like what you, Steve, and Quinn, right? Was that SCAW? Maybe JP too?
Oh, that you're saying. I get what this is cool.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
So I did chop the shit out of this though, so we're gonna see clips. But
is that you?
That can't be me.
I was gonna say, it doesn't look like you.
I do that. I
Is that
put the
Kevin?
arms up, but the body language is not me.
No, that is certainly not you.
You know what? Whoever it was, I appreciate them doing that. They stayed true to the character. That was Bakura's signature move.
I wonder who that could be.
Okay, that mask is sick as hell.
Can't tell with that look.
mask is amazing.
Do you still have that?
Yeah.
Woo!
I don't remember ever doing that move.
And you've done it like 7 times tonight.
I know. I
And
have.
really well, too.
I feel like I've seen JP do it like thereafter and be like, wow, I wish I could do that.
That was one of, I call them Josh's creative moves, where he does something kind of random and it looks cool as hell. Like how he springed off of him.
Who is that?
It looks like Kevin. Why is it? Because he's just the way he's moving. That's not JP.
No.
Unless it's Steve, and Steve
That is not Steve.
No. Okay, that has to be Kevin. Was he there? I also love the time of day this is, and it made me think of the Zoom of the day. I don't know. Who it is, man.
That? Did we find out?
That's Bakura. What are we talking about? It's clearly Bakura.
Who the hell is that?
Some kid doing your taunt with some pajamas on.
That is whoever the guy playing Bakura was. That's the exact same person.
That's Josh, right?
Is it?
Yeah. You did the spit thing.
I don't remember those pants either.
It has to be you. It's 100% you.
Is that JP with every belt?
Yep.
Yeah.
He left with the HWC belt and took it to SCAW.
Wait, was it carry? Like, was that
That was your belt.
Was that a legitimate carryover though? Like, did he just keep the belt and keep going?
I'm
Because I
sure,
would have
yes.
never known that. I love that.
Yeah, that is me. Those are my shoesies and everything. And my hair and my face.
Yeah, you had that clean cut face for a while.
But why am I my... I don't... Why am I my... Why? I'm drunk.
Are you? You only
not
had
at all.
2. You're good.
I think you're in pajamas because you weren't taking this character as seriously as you were taking your other thing that you were doing.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be myself, though?
I think so.
As little J?
Look at JP with that bump, dude. I wondered where that shit came from. It was right there.
This is just an episode.
Right.
So this is
Look
really,
at that, bro. This is where it all started. This is the reason why JP'd.
This is borderline not canon, but also it is.
No, in terms of SCAW, this is very canon.
This is so canon, it's Nick.
This is awesome. And you can just see like how good you guys are because you've just spent probably an entire year, or not a year, so a lot of time on this. You've now gotten time to like play around on this thing.
Yeah.
The body language from this versus even the Out of Control 2 looks like we've been here. We've done this.
Do we know the date or no?
No, it wasn't etched to the bottom. I just
It's
got
at
lucky enough to
night.
find it on a tape.
I feel like it's cold, so probably the fall.
Doesn't look very cold, but it probably is the fall because, I mean, you guys only had this from what? Like, it was in your backyard from Out of Control 2 until the next spring, maybe?
Was that-
maybe?
was
It
that
really
it?
wasn't that long because Quinn wrestled Steve at JP's house, and then over that summer, I met Quinn.
There's the gun. That's the mercenary.
Yeah, with the gun, with the Glock, with the glizzy.
Was mercenary a character that you wanted to pursue, or was
Bro, I
mercenary?
don't even remember doing that.
With that belt.
Yeah.
Still the ETW hardcore champion, even in SCAW.
So I created that character because the payoff of it was Little J was such a babyface, he couldn't get out his aggression as Little J, so I had to create a way to do that under a mask, and that was the mercenary.
Genius.
Did you ever plan on pulling the mask off and being like, "Oh my God, mercenary is Little J"?
Yeah, we did that.
So that's probably why you did the
Great
pajamas
idea.
thing then.
Yeah, potentially, because what was that thing, the KPW or whatever? That's why I was Joshua Todd. or whatever.
Gotcha.
And I think is that when I wrestled you?
Yeah. Yeah, because I cut a promo explaining why I was the mercenary, and at the end I was like, Little J, what kind of stupid name is that? Just
And-
call me by my real name, Josh.
And you weren't training yet?
No, not yet. But yeah, no. No, because I had those pants made, those shorts. I guess I just had it made for backyard, and then I just used them in the real world.
Yeah, because WrestleFest would have been, I think, probably
Yeah, there's
the
no way. 'Cause
early spring after this.
Yeah, because I didn't have my first match until I was 18.
Yeah.
Look at Quinn just being a part of everything.
And unfortunately, that's all we had because the video cut there and went to Backyard Supremacy 2 footage, which we used on earlier episodes of this podcast.
That is true. Man, that is such a cool episode to have because it is the transitioning piece.
Yeah.
It is exactly what explains why things kind of went the way they did. Do you know how long after that you got in contact with them?
I met Quinn that next summer. That's
Wow.
about, yeah.
So thank goodness we got Quinn to stay along just long enough to make him invested in it. Because like you said, he truly was involved
Yeah.
in everything.
Yeah, all the way through. From the very beginning of ETW up until the very end of SCAW, Quinn was there.
Man, that was fun.
Yeah.
I think that's really all we got.
Yeah, it's your show, man. You know
Yeah.
what we're doing here.
Well, I guess I want to really wrap this up in kind of two ways, and more for both of you guys to speak on this. So, you know, in your perspective, I guess, what was that timeline like when the base was in your yard and you were wrestling on it, like in that show? Did you feel like there was an end game there? Did you feel like the base needed to go, like, or were you just living in the moment some more?
Yeah, I really don't remember.
That's fair. I mean, shit, I don't
remember
either.
that was like that was like the way getting the base, because I knew about what a base was. It's just a makeshift wrestling ring. I knew what it was because of Steve and through like the message boards and all the people that he talked to that had one. And I just remember one time I was on the internet, I was like, we should build one of those. And he was like, I've been fucking saying that or whatever.
Yeah, right.
So in other words, that was like that, and I feel like in my mind that was my way to get into a wrestling ring. That's the only way I knew how to do it. before I could go get trained. I don't even know if I knew I could get trained at that point. I feel like I had to. Yeah, 2006. I might not have been to my first indie show yet at that point to know that there's a training school, but I knew I knew what indie wrestling was. I knew I'd been to like a show at one point.
Yeah.
That wasn't IWC. That was years before you guys introduced me to that. Yeah, but being on the base and all that stuff, that was, like I said, that was my way of getting into a wrestling ring and just continuing to do what I wanted to do without being able to do it.
Was it so much fun?
It was so much fun.
So much fun.
No, it was
Time of your
fun.
life, boy.
We would play with it all the time. It was more than just a ring. It was a friend.
Well, listen, we went through 10 episodes
Yeah.
of Backyardi'Yinz. I told you it's hard to say.
You're struggling.
Backyardi'Yinz.
Yeah.
No, but you got to leave that one in there because that shit is hard to say.
Yeah, call back to the first
Backyardi'Yinz,
episode,
yeah.
right? Yeah, absolutely.
We've gone through 10 episodes. Coming back and seeing some of this stuff really sheds some light and puts perspective on why we care about this and why it meant something to us. Because I don't care what anyone says. At least for myself, I'm a 33-year-old child.
Yep.
Maybe it is a symptom of millennials. But, Rick, where do we go from here?
Yeah, it got to 2009, early times in 2009, and I knew what we were doing, and I messaged Dominic on Facebook, and I, in all one-letter words, like using the letter U instead of the word
He didn't
U.
spell anything.
I spelled cool, Kewl, like for whatever. We just couldn't do it, but I was like, yo, my brother, when are you going to be joining SWC? And Dominic's answer was, whenever the weather gets warm. So, it looks like the weather's starting to crack outside a little bit, my guy. Mm-hmm. And,
A little chilly.
your backyard might not be the best place for it, but
It's flat.
there might be a place we can wrestle. I don't know.
I hope so.
I don't know. But now that we've gotten through the ETW revisit, we have a lot more SWC-centric stuff to talk about in the future, right? And the next episode that we're going to be putting out for our wonderful fans on the Golden Triangle Media YouTube channel is Backyard Supremacy 4.
4.
And that was a big weekend for old Josh Todd here, but he's not really going to be here for the show. So before we even get to that, real quick, your two matches, Backyard Supremacy 4.
There was Jonathan Hitler.
Uh-huh.
And
good old Devin Bliss.
if you would have never said that, I would never remember.
But now you do, right?
Yeah, good guy. Bless his heart. Beautiful head of hair.
Used to be, man. He's on the same train as me now. What about the other one, though? Good old Hitler.
I remember the match being, I feel like it was hyped up more. I feel like there was a lot of expectations, so it didn't, at least in my mind, come to what I hoped it would be.
Okay.
Yeah, because
That's
also
fair.
I feel like it got outshined by he and Zayn.
That was
like,
unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever. I don't care. But it was just, I think that was the only other opportunity that match could have happened, right?
Yep.
So I felt like I knew, like, just being in, because I had been trained at that point. So I knew, like, hey, kind of know your place on the card. So I didn't go as all out as I otherwise.
Even though you guys were
would've.
semi-main for the SWC championship.
Yeah, but I knew, like, that's, you know what I mean? It's like that's the main event.
I smell you. I know what you. And there's a story. We'll talk about it as soon as I hit the end button here. But also, I'll talk about it on the next podcast where it'll be me and Dominic and Hack Edgerman back to talk about his big BYS4 weekend. And we'll have Steve back on the podcast.
Scuba Steve. Get well soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been hurting the last week or so. And also, normally I leave here with a question, but today I want to leave here with a statement. And that is that even though there might be 150 million ETW feds that have happened over the course of time, that was the best one.
Facts.
It's just
a
nobody.
fact.
Yeah, nobody can top what you guys did because you guys are perfect people, and I love you, and you're my good friends.
Lane?
Think you can hear that?
I'm trying to leave you out.